Love or duty? A question that echoes through the marble halls of palaces, behind diamond crowns, and under the weight of destiny. She's the heir to a throne, the symbol of a nation. But behind her perfect poise and royal smile, beats the heart of a young woman caught between her feelings and her fate. Princess Leonor of Spain, future queen, or just Leonor, a girl who once dreamed of love. Everyone sees the tiaras, the uniforms, the ceremonies. But few have seen what lies behind them, the silent battle she fights when the cameras fade. Because while the world celebrates her discipline and duty, something else quietly stirs within her, the longing to live, to love, to be free. It began innocently, a friendship that blossomed into something deeper. Whispers that followed her from Zaragoza to the military academy. Glances that lasted a second too long. And for the first time in her young royal life, Leonor found herself standing at a dangerous crossroad, between the crown she must one day wear and the heart she could not silence. The Spanish royal family lives by centuries of rules. Every move, every gesture, every friendship, measured, approved, and polished for the public eye. Leonor grew up under that pressure. Every decision she made was guided by the question, will this make me worthy of being queen? But love doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't wait for protocol. It arrives quietly, sometimes in the most unexpected places. In the halls of her military academy, surrounded by discipline and duty, Leonor found a kind of connection she never expected. Not with another royal, not with a politician's son, but with someone far simpler. Someone who saw her not as a princess, but as Leonor, a young woman trying to find herself in a world that already decided who she must be. They would talk in stolen moments, between drills, over shared laughter, in glances that said everything words could not. He admired her courage, her humility. She admired his simplicity, his sincerity. Two different worlds collided, one built on duty, the other on authenticity. And for a moment, Leonor allowed herself to imagine a life without boundaries. But the walls of royalty have long memories. Rumors reached the palace. Questions were raised. And suddenly, every whisper became dangerous. The queen, her mother, understood the cost of love better than anyone. Queen Letizia had faced her own storm when she married into the monarchy, a journalist who dared to love a future king. But now, as a mother, she feared what such emotions could do to her daughter's destiny. There were gentle warnings, private conversations, subtle reminders of what was at stake. Leonor, they said, you are the future of Spain. You cannot afford distractions. Yet how does one silence the heart? How does one separate the girl from the crown? Even King Felipe, always composed, began to watch her more closely. He knew the pain of duty, the sacrifices, the loneliness that comes with a crown. He wanted to protect her, but he also knew this: one day, she would face choices that no parent could make for her. As the months passed, the young princess learned to master her emotions. She smiled for the cameras. She stood tall during parades. She trained harder than ever, determined to prove that her heart could not weaken her crown. But behind the calm surface, the quiet ache of longing remained. Letters unsent, messages deleted, memories folded into silence. And yet, even as she tried to move forward, fate seemed to test her resolve. Every royal event brought new faces, new expectations, new whispers about suitable matches. The world speculated, could she one day be linked to Prince Christian of Denmark? Or another royal from Europe? But Leonor's heart wasn't drawn to status or lineage. It was drawn to truth, to connection, to what was real. As she matured, the contrast between her two worlds grew sharper. Publicly, she became a symbol, confident, disciplined, inspiring. Privately, she wrestled with the weight of her future. Would she be allowed to love freely? Or would her love be chosen for her, arranged, polished, and politically safe? Spain adored her. The people saw a young woman who could modernize the monarchy, who could balance strength with compassion. But they didn't see the quiet nights, when she stood by her window at the academy, staring at the stars, wondering if freedom was ever possible for someone born into destiny. Her friends described her as grounded, thoughtful, but distant. She rarely shared her emotions, afraid they might betray her. Yet those who knew her best could see it, the spark of rebellion behind her calm eyes. A silent wish to live not just as a queen, but as herself. Every royal generation faces its defining test. For Leonor, it's not war, not politics, but love, the most human test of all. The test that demands a choice between heart and heritage. In moments of solitude, she often reflects on her mother's story, how Queen Letizia defied expectations, how love once challenged the throne. But times have changed. The monarchy now demands perfection. Every decision she makes is magnified, every rumor becomes a headline. A single gesture of affection could ignite a storm of speculation. So she stays composed. She learns to breathe between emotions, to master her expressions, to walk the razor's edge between vulnerability and control. That's the art of modern royalty, the ability to feel deeply while revealing nothing. But the question remains, can love truly be buried beneath duty? Or will it someday resurface, demanding to be heard? There are moments, fleeting, fragile, when her guard lowers. During national ceremonies, when she sees families holding hands. During quiet dinners, when laughter feels real and unguarded. And in those moments, the mask of the monarch slips, revealing Leonor, the young woman who wants to live, to love, to choose. She's still learning what kind of queen she will be. The obedient one who follows tradition. Or the brave one who redefines it. Her story is still being written, in every salute, every speech, every restrained smile. The world watches her grow, the future Queen of Spain, graceful, determined, mysterious. But only she knows the storm within. Love or duty, it's not a question of one or the other. For Leonor, it's about balance, learning to carry both with grace. To love without losing herself. To lead without forgetting she's human. And maybe one day, when the time is right, Spain will not just see a monarch, but a woman who dared to be real. Because behind every crown lies a heartbeat. Behind every title, a soul that longs. And behind the name, Princess Leonor, there's a story, not of perfection, but of courage. The courage to feel, even when duty says not to. Her journey is far from over. But one truth remains, love and duty may collide, but they also shape destiny. And in that fragile space between the two, lies the making of a true queen.